Hello everybody, today I will be giving you a step-by-step guide on how to determine the mystery substance of a chemical reaction using titration. As we must all know, a few restrictions as to lab wear is to always have goggles and to wear your hair tie pack and closed-toed shoes. So before continuing in this lab, be sure that you follow this criteria. So first and foremost, we're going to want to gather all of our materials. So the materials we're going to need to make this reaction happen is a burette and a burette stand, a 250 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, a 250 milliliter beaker and a 400 milliliter beaker, a funnel, distilled water, a balance, sodium hydroxide, pellets, phenolphthalein indicator, and finally, of course, our mystery substance. After this, our next step will be to clean our materials. Any leftover chemicals that get stuck from previous experiments in our materials can possibly change our results. So we need to rinse everything out with distilled water to make sure it's clean and ready so that our results are the most accurate that they can be. After doing so, our next step will be to label everything. Our beakers, our mystery flask, and anything else we'll use. Doing so will ensure that everything stays organized and can prevent mix-ups. We'll now be moving on to the preparation of our mystery substance for its titration. To do so, we will measure out 1 gram of the mystery substance that we are going to get from our teacher. This is usually a powder-like substance. We will then place this 1 gram of this mystery powder-like substance into our 250 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask. Then, after that, we will add about 50 milliliters of distilled water into the Erlenmeyer flask, which has the mystery powder in it. We will then shake that until we see that that powder gets almost fully dissolved into the water. Once this is done, we are going to go to the acid station and we're going to add a few drops of phenolphthalein, usually 2 to 3. This will act as our indicator and will show us when the reaction is complete. Prepared our mystery substance, we can now finally begin titrating. The first thing you're going to want to do is going to pour your titrant from the volumetric flask into a 250 milliliter beaker. Once that is done, you are going to adjust the burette and the burette stand so that the burette is at your eye level. You're going to place the funnel on top of the burette and you're going to pour your titrant, which is in the 250 milliliter beaker, into the burette until it gets as close as 0 as possible. It's not going to be exactly 0, so you're going to want to mark down the number you get as close to 0 as possible. This will be important more in the end. After doing so, you will adjust the burette stand back up to where you can place your 250 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, which has your mystery substance prepared in it. Once that is done and the Erlenmeyer flask is under the burette, you will start to release the stopcock, and you will start going to let the titrant pour down from the burette into the Erlenmeyer flask. Be sure that while you're doing so, you are shaking to make sure that the titrant gets all over the mystery substance. Eventually, you will begin to notice a change in color. You want to stop as soon as you see a faint shade of pink, just like so. Once you see this color, you will immediately close the stopcock and mark down the exact volume of titrant that is left over. That pink color indicates that the mystery substance has fully reacted with the titrant. And like I said, be sure to record the initial and the final volume. This will be important for your calculations later on.